What's going on, everybody? Simon Says Crypto for the Dipito Let's Talk Crypto show. And last night was episode 52 with the Quincy Jones. Unfortunately, Smqke couldn't make it. Check out for that show to be announced in the future, but we're gonna reschedule with Smqke. I was looking to have a Smqke on there, but it was cool. We got the Quincy Jones as well. Miss Kita was there asking some great questions, as well as Melissa. Like, it was a fire show. About an hour and 15 minutes long, so not too bad. So that link's gonna be like right up here, or maybe up there, or over here. Anyways, there will be a link even down below so you can watch the full thing. But there were so many gems in there, so tough for me to pick out just one or two to talk about in these recaps and in my comments. But what I'm gonna share with you folks is Melissa asks a great Dipito question. Of to Quincy, and we're just going to go ahead and get into this right now, and we're going to talk about this here in just a minute. So here it is.
Product. So the original question, someone asked, why should I choose XDC? When you hear me or hear anybody talk about technologies or any of these technologies, and this goes for AI too, or anything else someone tries to pitch you, when you're sitting there looking at this, can you sit there and go, not only can I see this expanding beyond its current use case, I can see how other people who aren't using it can use it. That's the key. If you're sitting there going,
I'm gonna pause right there. That literally is the key, right? If you can see how you can use it, which leads you to how you can see others use it, now you got something there. Let's continue.
I can't see how someone would do this. Yeah, don't touch it. Like, that's just how I look at. That's how I look at everything. I'm like, I don't see it, but it's vice versa. Because when I say this, because this was my experience in cloud. So when I was focusing on cloud development, I saw this in cloud development where like everything was going like AWS and nobody really knew of it, and it was just wild. Like AWS job, you could get a 6-figure job working in the AWS stack easy like that. But people didn't know about it, and it was just. And I remember spending a lot of time trying to explain it to people, but then I started realizing that, and this is where it comes to crypto. The thing that the reason why it's valuable and the people that are going to bring it long-term viability are not the same people being pitched crypto right now. And you almost have to put yourself in the position of someone who would use this tool to understand if it has a future or not. And it's hard. Like, this is not an easy thing. It's hard for me too. I work in this space. I'm a software developer. Like, it's not easy. And it's not really like it's not like meant to be easy, but at the very least, it can give you a level of assurance in knowing that. And I say this because like it's easy to say this now, but it's one thing to say like in the hype cycle when like 50 million meme coins go to the moon and everyone's making a bunch of money and you're like, oh my God, look what you said. It's the same thing. Like, we can go back to 2001 and I can show you pets.com that had a net worth of like $10 billion, right? That's bankrupt now. Like, it just happens all the time. So it's not just like, I say this because everyone does this. They go, what about these other projects? I made all this money. I'm like, you can go into every hype cycle bubble ever and find people that made money. Like, it's the funniest thing ever. But it's one of these things where I'm like, if you're trying to hop in as a speculator, jump around, trying to make a bit of cash, that's one thing. If you're totally going for it, go ahead and do it. But if you're sitting here and you're confused and you're not really sure what to do with this space, I'd say try to get an understanding of why someone would use this and what someone would do with it in the future. And I say this because what's going to happen, and it's not that you have to be a software developer to understand this. You don't. This is actually funny because I see this a lot. If you work in a particular niche, a field, whatever. I was talking to this guy in real estate, right? And he was like the biggest crypto skeptic ever. Like, I was talking to him about like XDC, and he was like, "Oh, is that like Doge or whatever?" Totally flipped this guy. And all I was talking to him about was just settlements. I'm like, how long did it take for you to be able to settle a property? How long did it take you to do this? How long did it take you to do that? And once he got into the mind of what he could do with it and what he could see other people, he's like, "Yo, that's awesome. I'm game." And I'm like, yeah, he knew nothing about the technology. All I started telling him about was like what people can do with this, why people do it in this way, how they would go about it this way, how I would do it this way. Can you see it this way? And as soon as they see it, it's like, it's not looking at the technology, it's looking at how people can use the tool and seeing how that can expand. And I say that because everyone has their niche. So you'll find something in your niche and you go, wait a second. Couldn't I potentially do? And it's like, yes. And not only can you see that you could do it, you can see other people potentially doing it as well, especially if you see it especially valuable. So like, that's the key thing is like, when you hear people talk about these things, I would try to get as much of an understanding on the potential future viability based off of what you believe people can do with it, as well as what they're doing with it right now. And it all just comes down to just you feeling comfortable in the explanation that was given. Like some people may go on and say, oh, this asset's a store of value. And you may say, malarkey. Okay, fine, don't touch it. Don't play these silly like hype games where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm in, I don't know if I'm out. You're more likely just to completely blow your account just by being bashful or hesitant because you're FOMOing into some sort of project versus actually just saying, hey, I feel comfortable with this because I understand it. Now, I only say this because I'm like, I guess that's just how I look at things. But
Yeah.
I love Quincy, man. Quincy, you are so awesome, brother. You really, really are. That is a great exclamation explanation there. Basic questions to ask about projects, any project really, not just XCD, not XRP, not XLM, all of them. Ask them, ask that question, to any developer, Quincy also later in the show he kind of gives kind of a life hack of, hey, when you ask about this project, try to ask that question in a way to where you're not going to get sales pitched on, oh, well, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Do you remember how sliced bread first came on scene? It's better than that, right? You don't want that because you're not going to get the real truth, right? So sound advice, very sound advice for all you diptoers out there. If you're not getting it, then keep pushing it till you do. And getting it means, yes, I get it. Yes, I see value for myself and people that I know or in my niche or my industry, etc. Or the opposite. I get it. I don't see the value in what I'm doing or my life journey, etc. And then don't play. That's a sound baseline structure, especially for all you diptoers out there, and even us experienced folks. We kind of get laxed in our investments. We just, oh yeah, it's crypto, woo yeah, man, hey man, moon baby moon, and that's facts. And when we're in a hype cycle, as Quincy talks about, you could throw mud on the wall and still get a something out of it on that. Go back and watch the video. It's a great video. It's great live. Smqke's going to be rescheduled. It's going to be a surprise of what's coming out next week. So catch me doing a little promo video next Tuesday. I'll have something for you, all you diptoers out there. And if you feel like stopping by the Dipito and just watching our shorts, look out for those too, because I got one coming for you. Keita, Melissa, Quincy, thank you so very much for such an awesome show. You guys are really bringing the light, the truth, and the wisdom to this space at the Dipito level, and that's where it needs to be. So that's all I got for you crazy crypto kids out there in the crypto land. These are the deuces. I gotta go. Keep dipping that toe. Take care.